Hi there. In this video, I'm going to talk about the top MIM programs or Master in Management programs in Canada. My name is Anand Venkatesan. I am a founder mentor at Mentors Capital, a networking and mentorship platform that helps students make better admission decisions. Well, in a previous video, I talked about the top MIM programs and why this is becoming so popular, and which are the top universities offering MIM in the US. Well, Canada is a preferred destination in today's world, and a lot of Indians are really considering a move to Canada. So let's take a look at which are the top MIM schools in Canada. Well, before I begin, I'm going to talk about a few myths that we all hold, right? There's a lot of perception about the Master in Management program and also about studying a master's program in Canada. And I hope to dispel some of those by the end of this video. So the first myth is that students from commerce or business backgrounds in their undergraduate program cannot apply to master's programs in Canada. In fact, even in the US. Well, that's a big myth because this was probably the situation a few years ago. But now, most programs are actually recognizing accredited degrees offered by international universities. And there are some agencies that they recognize. And these agencies, such as WES, will offer verification services, which means that if you're studying in an Indian university and you've done a 3-year BCom or BA program, well, you can get your degree certified by this agency, which will be accepted by the university you're applying to in Canada, right? So that's a very big myth. Similarly, another myth is that only 3-year programs, only 4-year programs make students eligible for masters. And so 3-year programs like a commerce or a management program or even a humanities literature program will not make you eligible. Well, again, like I said, there are accrediting agencies today in place, and with the influx of international students, especially from India, universities have started recognizing these degrees. The third myth is that, much like an MBA, all master's programs are going to be extremely expensive. Well, partly true for an MBA, but definitely not true for a master's program. Most master's programs will cost you anywhere between, especially in Canada, they'll cost you anywhere between 30 to 70,000 USD. 30 to 70,000 Canadian dollars, right? Which in a sense will work out to around 30 to 35 lakhs and a little more in some cases. That's not bad considering that most Indian B schools offer master's programs, which ideally should be compared with the MIM and not the MBA. And these programs can cost you as much as 20 to 25 lakhs or even about 30 to 35 lakhs in the case of a few programs. The last myth is that, well, MBA is the degree which is popular, so only target an MBA, and MIM is not really worth considering. Well, I can kind of disagree with that because the MIM degree, remember, is targeted at fresh graduates, which means that they, unlike an MBA, which targets students, which is applicable for students who have at least 4 to 5 years of work experience, and MIM does not require any work experience. In fact, in most B schools, the criteria for admission into a master's program, into a business master's program, is to have under 2 years of experience, right? And the other thing I would state is that an MIM is a great way to get a foundational program and to establish a career in a global setting, because you go to study in a foreign country and opportunities for work open up there once you do a master's program in that country. And which means that you are exposed not only to a diverse, classroom cohort, but you're also exposed to activities, projects and internships and even final employment, in multinational companies located in the destination country of your choice. All right, I hope I've dispelled some of those myths. I'll go one step further and give you a few statistics that kind of prove my points. Here's the first statistic. There are 20 plus universities that offer business masters in Canada. That's right. Almost 20 universities in Canada offer business masters. It's a pretty popular program. And what's more, 8 of these top 20 programs are actually listed in the global top 100 masters programs, right? That's pretty prestigious, right? The top 100 ranks when it comes to business masters. I've chosen the QS rankings for this for this statistic. So if I look at QS world rankings for business masters across the world, then of the top 100 schools, almost 8 reside in Canada, which means that you get to pursue a master's from a business school that is a global brand. Not only that, the average fee in the top 5 universities in Canada that offer business masters is around 55,000 Canadian dollars, right? Now, a Canadian dollar, if I use the conversion rate, this roughly works out to about 30 to 35 lakhs in rupees, right? Which is not very expensive. And remember, we're talking about the top 5 programs, the best of the best universities in Canada offering business masters, right? So it should be, affordable for you. And it will, obviously, this is only a tuition fee. You're going to have to set aside a little more for living expenses, but definitely not way out of your reach. Okay, a couple of other statistics. 3 of the top 10 schools that offer business masters, only 3 of those require a 4-year undergraduate program, which means only 3 universities say that, well, we require a candidate to have pursued a 4-year program at undergraduate level, right? And what's more, 2 amongst these same top 10 will require, for eligibility say that you cannot apply if you have a business degree, which means that most of the universities in Canada that offer business masters accept students that have done 3-year programs or have pursued a business or a program in commerce. Right? All right. Now, before I move into the next section where I will talk about the major, top 5 universities offering business masters in Canada, the best of the best in Canada, I'll quickly give you a brief, introduction about Mentors Capital and what we do. That's the URL www.mentorscapital.com. We are a networking and mentorship platform, like I said before, and this quote very beautifully encapsulates the fact that mentorship is something which is very, very vast, and indeed it actually is useful in any sphere, whether it's academic or professional. There is plenty to learn from a mentor, somebody who's been there and experienced some of these services. Well, this infographic also tells you what all fields you can benefit by mentorship, right? Well, you could ask a mentor about the admission processes, about college rankings, about the kind of job opportunities available, also about the job market and the classroom cohort in a B school or in a university. What's more, you can also ask a mentor about his experience of how to prepare for a written exam like a GRE or a GMAT, or a language exam like IELTS or the TOEFL, as also his or her experience with getting the visa approved and arranging for financing for his degree, right? So comprehensive knowledge if just you could speak to a mentor. Well, how does it work on our platform? Well, just take your device and visit the URL www.mentorscapital.com. Well, and what you find is that there are various mentors listed on our platform, right? These are mentors who come from diverse fields, right? We're talking about management, and you can see that there are mentors who pursued finance, marketing, project management, analytics, and even the field of human resources, right? So very, very diverse pool of mentors who've studied these specializations in schools across the globe. And what you can do is find the mentor who fits your specific requirements, who probably matches your background and your needs. And lo and behold, we can arrange for a one-on-one mentorship call over Zoom, and that's the real benefit that you can derive. Right at the bottom, I'm also showing you the URL for our YouTube channel. Most of these videos are available over there. So do take a look and do subscribe. What services do we offer? Well, one-on-one mentorship is the most obvious one, but we also offer a bouquet of services that a student needs. First and foremost is, help with interviews and essay writing, assessments. Well, most B schools today have started to evaluate candidates online, which means that your admission interviews and which also means an online assessment by way of a video test or a on-the-spot essay, and these could be really critical to get into a top-ranked B school across the globe, and we really help a candidate understand his or her internal strengths as well as the requirements of a university or a school, right? The second aspect is a little more comprehensive, right? We do provide end-to-end support on your applications, which means that we can start as early as college shortlisting, help you pick which colleges, which universities suit your profile, create your application, and which includes crafting those impactful essays in the application, and also the letters of recommendation and how they should be worded ideally. This will also include the interview preparation and the essay writing services that I talked about, and also the scholarship applications, which are really important for a international student, right? Well, last but not the least is to prepare for tests. Well, whether it's the GRE or the GMAT, whether it's the IELTS or the TOEFL or even the SAT, we've got online programs that are really effective and can help you crack an exam of your choice, right? Well, do check out our website www.mentorscapital.com for more information and to reach out to us. All right, so let's get back to our agenda. In this section, I'm going to talk about the top 5 universities in Canada that offer a business masters, and we look at a few important details such as ranking, what kind of programs do they offer, what's the duration of these programs, what kind of admission requirements do they have, am I eligible to apply or not, and finally, how much is it going to cost me, right? Fair enough. All right, starting off, the top ranked school for business masters in Canada is the Rotman School of Management, which is in the University of Toronto, right? Well, the Rotman School of Management has a very long list of master's programs ranging from finance, financial economics, risk management, accounting and finance, and even a master's in engineering program besides a human resources master's and an analytics master's, right? So you can see a very comprehensive set of programs ranging from specific disciplines within management such as finance, human resources, analytics, and accounting, right? So a lot of program choices. Obviously pick one that agrees with your undergraduate area of study. Most of these masters will have a duration of around 1 to 2 years, right? 10 to 20 months, and do remember that the Rotman School is ranked as high as 18 on the QS World University rankings for business masters, right? So it's right up there. It should be your number 1 choice. What about eligibility? Well, in order to apply to the Rotman School of Management, unfortunately, you're going to need a 4-year undergraduate degree, right? So this means that if you pursued a BCom or a Bachelor of Arts from India, well, chances are you won't be able to apply to the Rotman School, right? They are also very competitive, which means that the minimum eligibility requirement is about mid B range, translates to about 75% in your undergraduate degree, and a GMAT or a GRE score is required by the school, right? So how much does it cost? Well, the Rotman MBA, which is the most sought after, the Rotman MIM, which is probably going to be the most sought after in Canada, will cost you around 90,000 Canadian dollars, right? That sounds like quite a bit, right? About 55 lakhs. But then remember, this is the most expensive program in Canada. So maybe take it with a pinch of salt. All right. Another very important fact is that the Rotman School of Management or the University of Toronto is based out of Ontario, Toronto, right? Which means that it's one of the biggest cities in Canada. Most of industry and corporate houses are headquartered in Canada, in Toronto, which means plenty of opportunities if you're looking for employment after your masters, right? Okay. The next university or the next school that I would recommend is the McGill University's DeSauder School of Management, right? Right, much like the Rotman School, the DeSauder's program in management is also, quite comprehensive, right? Well, unlike Rotman, though, they do not have a lot of specialized masters. So there's the master in management, which is comprehensive across the multiple disciplines, and then there's the master in management analytics, right? So there's a master in finance and there's a master in analytics that the DeSauder School of Management offers. Well, the rank of DeSauder's School of Management is 19 on the QS World Rankings, and typically a master's program here will take around 1 to 1.5 years for you to complete. The eligibility, well, the DeSauder's, unlike Rotman, accepts that the 3-year undergraduate degree. You still need to show a very, very high degree of proficiency at your undergraduate level. So preferably an 8+ GPA would really, really help you. Similarly, a GRE or a GMAT score is required, and in fact, probably a score of 720 or so would be a really, really good score to apply to DeSauder's. How much will it cost you? Well, DeSauder's is one of the programs which is lighter on your pocket. I think the 1-year course fee is around $30,000, 30,000 Canadian dollars. And another big sort of pull for DeSauder School is that it's based out of Ontario as well, right? It's based out of the town of Kingston in Ontario. All right. Third on my list is the Western University's Ivey Business School. Now, Ivey is probably the number one school for MBA in Canada, and this also reflects in their MIM rank, right? The Ivey Business School is based out of London, Ontario. So again, in the middle of the main business district of Canada. They have master's programs, again, specialized master's programs in business analytics, in digital management, in international business, which is quite akin to an MIM, a general management program. And finally, they also have a SEMS based dual degree program, right? So very, very good option in case you prefer to do a master's from 2 different universities and give yourself the advantage of the SEMS Alliance and its alumni network. All right. Second, these are all MSc programs, remember, right? So MSc programs typically from Ivey will last around 16 months, right? That's a typical duration of the MSc Ivey from Ivey. And the QS World ranking, again, is very, very robust with a ranking of 41 on QS World rankings. I think Ivey is still a school you should be targeting in Canada. What about eligibility requirements? Well, 3-year UG undergraduate degrees are actually accepted by the Ivey School. Although you must have graduated 2 years or less than that when you're at the time of applying, right? Obviously, top schools in Canada will require you to show a competitive GPA. So make sure that it's at least a B+, it's at least a 7+, 7.5+ GPA would really help you. And last but not the least, the GRE or a GMAT score is mandatory, which means try to get a 700+, if not more, right? Okay, the Ivey Business School's MBA is priced at 72,000 Canadian dollars. And this is the program cost for the master's MSc programs offered by Ivey, right? So you can see slightly more expensive than the other programs and even the average cost, but then I think it's fair value for the kind of brand that you get in return. Next up is the Sauder School of Business, which is the business school of the University of British Columbia, world renowned today. The Sauder School of Business or the University of British Columbia is based in the town of Vancouver, the city of Vancouver in British Columbia. Well, what are the programs that they offer? The Sauder School offers a General Master of Management and also a Master of Business Analytics. The Master of Business Analytics program offered by UBC's Sauder School is actually one of the top ranked programs in analytics across the globe, probably in the top 3 to 5 ranks across the globe, right? So it's a very prestigious school, especially if you're looking at business analytics and data science. Um, what about this? What about the rank of the School of Management? Well, the School of Business, Sauder School of Business, has a QS ranking of 43, which means it still sits pretty when it comes to pursuing management in Canada. And most of these MSc programs, most of these master's programs rather, are about a year or so in duration. 9 to 12 months is the typical duration. You can apply if you have a 3-year undergraduate program and a B plus, which means an academic record of around 7 plus GPA and under 2 years of work experience under your belt. GMAT or GRE score is required. A GMAT score of 720 or a GRE score of about 320, 328 should really hold you in good stead when you're applying to the Sauder School of Business. Well, how much does it cost you? Well, the Sauder School of Business will cost you about 50,000. You charge you about 50,000 Canadian dollars for their master's programs, right? Which almost sits close to the average, right? And another thing I'd like to mention here is that Vancouver, the city of Vancouver in British Columbia, is one of the bigger cities outside of Toronto, right? So it's a vibrant city. It also has plenty of opportunities if you're looking for jobs, internships, and other project-related activities. So definitely a good option worth considering. The final school I'm going to look at is the HEC Montreal, right? Remember, HEC is already a world-renowned brand in the field of management. Their main school is in Paris, which is probably the top 3 school, one of the top 3 schools for MIM, for masters in the entire world. And the HEC Montreal, their alternative campus based out of Montreal, in Quebec, is also a program worth applying to, right? Now, a couple of clarifications here. Montreal is indeed one of the bigger cities in Canada, but it's based, remember, in the province of Quebec, which is a French-speaking province, which means that while the program will be administered in English and campus life will probably be a breeze for you, well, in order to live there and find employment, I think comfort with the language of French is probably something that you should equip yourself with, right? Okay, what kind of programs does HEC offer? Again, you can see, true to its name, since they are the leaders in the field of business masters, a lot of programs, program options here in the form of MSc. You have programs in applied financial economics, data science, and business analytics, specifically finance or financial engineering, and finally, a general master's in international business, right? Most of these programs are between 1.5 to 2 year duration. That's the typical, HEC practice is to allow for either a program to run for 2 years, or to allow a candidate even to pursue a, a project along with along a project or an internship along with the 1 year degree, right? On the QS ranking, well, HEC Montreal commands a rank of 82, but remember, the brand HEC is much, much bigger than its rank. So it's definitely a school I'd recommend you to consider. Well, eligibility is fairly straightforward. You can apply as long as you've completed an undergraduate degree and have a 60% or above in your in terms of your GPA. Remember, while this is the bare minimum, it could help if you have a little more than that. GRE or GMAT is a mandatory requirement, so make sure that you tick that box. And remember, based out of Quebec, this is one of the programs which is not very expensive. It only costs you, even international students, only about 34,000 Canadian dollars, right? So definitely affordable, and definitely a school that has the brand value that will really give you a jump start in your international management career. Well, that sort of finishes the top 5 list that I wanted to tell you. I hope that you will consider Canada as a favorable destination. We all know that the immigration policy of Canada means that as an undergraduate student or somebody who's just joined the workforce, you should really consider Canada as a primary location to go study and to find work, and also to settle down, right? Thank you. My name is Anand Venkatesan. In case you have any queries, you can write to me directly. That's my email ID, anand@mentorscapital.com. You can also contact us by sending us a WhatsApp message at the number shown here on the screen. And in case you're too lazy and you want us to give you a call back, just visit our website and give us your contact details for a call back very, very soon. Well, thank you. Have a good day and wish you all the best.